They don't wear uniforms. They don't carry guns. They don't set foot on a battlefield that you or I could recognize. But they are among the most powerful digital warriors of our time. In the hidden layers of the internet, the servers and networks we all rely on, two names have become legends in the world of cyber conflict: Fancy Bear and Cozy Bear. These names might sound almost playful, almost harmless. But make no mistake, these are not cartoons. They are elite hacking groups, widely attributed to Russian intelligence agencies, and they've changed the way the world thinks about war, power, and influence. Fancy Bear, also known as a PT-28, a cyber unit believed to be run by Russia's military intelligence, the GRU. Cozy Bear, known as APT-29, a more secretive unit tied to Russia's foreign intelligence services. Together, they have executed some of the most sophisticated, long-running cyber espionage campaigns in history, reaching deep into the digital fabric of governments, political systems, and infrastructure around the world. Our first major chapter unfolds in Europe, in Berlin. It was 2015 when investigators discovered that the German Bundestag, the heart of Germany's democracy, had been breached. Emails, communications, and internal networks were quietly accessed, not by random criminals, not by script kiddies, but by an adversary with skill, patience, and a long-term agenda. Officials eventually determined that the intrusion came from a unit tied to Russia's GRU, the same cyber warriors known as Fancy Bear. The attack was so thorough that Germany was forced to take its entire parliamentary IT system offline while they rebuilt it from scratch. Sensitive communications from lawmakers, even within Chancellor Angela Merkel's office, were compromised. It shook Europe. A nation with a reputation for stability suddenly realized that its democracy had been infiltrated in the shadows. This wasn't just a breach. It was a warning, and one that would soon be echoed on the global stage. Because across the Atlantic, in 2015 and 2016, something much larger was taking shape. In the lead-up to the 2016 United States presidential election, two Russian state-linked groups, Fancy Bear and Cozy Bear, began probing the digital defenses of one of the most closely watched political institutions in the world, the Democratic National Committee. One group, Cozy Bear, entered first, months before anything became public. They slipped in quietly, like a ghost in the data, monitoring emails, files, strategy documents, chats, silently and without detection. Then, in early 2016, Fancy Bear arrived. They didn't hide for years. They struck quickly. They used what cybersecurity experts call spear phishing emails, carefully crafted messages designed to look legitimate, sent directly to people with access to sensitive systems. One such email seized on a moment of trust, disguising itself as a routine security alert. And when the recipient clicked, that was all it took. Credentials were captured, access was gained, and tens of thousands of internal messages and documents were extracted from the DNC network. These weren't just any files. They were internal communications, strategy discussions, research documents, the private discussions of a major political party at the heart of the American election. And then, the leaks started. Not all at once, not in one explosion of data, but in waves. First through a persona calling itself Guccifer 2.0, claiming credit for the breach. Then through websites dedicated to releasing document after document. Each release was carefully timed. Each one stoked controversy. Each one fueled headlines and media cycles. And while the hackers were deep inside those systems, the world was watching the fallout. Accusations, denials, debates over legitimacy, distrust spreading through the public conversation like a virus. It was influence, executed not with bombs or armies, but with stolen data and digital timing. The U.S. intelligence community later concluded that these operations were part of a broader Russian campaign to influence the 2016 election environment, not by stating who should win, but by undermining trust and sowing doubt in the system itself. And while the effects on the election outcome remain debated, what can be said with certainty is this: the attacks had real consequences, shaking confidence, shaping narratives, and revealing the vulnerability of democratic institutions in a connected world. But the story doesn't stop with stolen emails. The methods employed by these two groups are as revealing as their targets. Fancy Bear is known for bold, aggressive action, spear phishing campaigns, and credential harvesting that crack open doors swiftly. Cozy Bear, in contrast, prefers to stay hidden, infiltrating systems over long periods, quietly observing, moving laterally, collecting intelligence without detection. Their techniques reflect two sides of a broader strategy, one loud and disruptive, the other patient and hidden, but both deadly effective. These groups don't just steal data, they exploit trust. The trust we place in email systems, in software updates, in the very infrastructure of government operations. And their reach extends far beyond election systems and political committees. They have targeted government ministries, defense agencies, international organizations, think tanks, corporate systems. In some instances, Cozy Bear was later linked to major global supply chain attacks, embedding malware into trusted software updates that silently spread to thousands of organizations, including federal agencies and larger corporations. This wasn't just espionage. This was strategic compromise on a global scale. In the years since 2016, both groups have continued their operations, adapting and evolving with technology. They've probed new networks, tested new techniques, and remained at the forefront of state-linked cyber espionage. Their actions have forced nations to rethink their security strategies, investing billions in defenses to protect systems once thought safe. But for every defense built, there is another door waiting to be found. Because in this new era of information conflict, the battlefield isn't marked by front lines. It's marked by login screens, by forgotten email accounts, by software updates we install without a second thought. And in that unseen arena, Fancy Bear and Cozy Bear still roam. Watching, waiting, ready to exploit the next vulnerability.